There's a new TikTok trend, and it's called trank tourism. Now, obviously, I've been bringing Philadelphia to the front of the congregation for several different reasons, including what was going on over at Kensington Avenue. And I had a conversation yesterday with y'all about what exactly was happening on Philadelphia with the flesh-eating horse tranquilizers that's input inside of the fentanyl and heroin, and the business owners, and how our government is basically leaving everybody for dead over there while they continue to pour money over into Israel and Ukraine. Anyways, but there's a new trend that is happening on TikTok, and it's called trank tourism, and it's the new wave. And the people that are on the front lines of Philadelphia are not happy about it. Let me break it down for you.
This is the story of the new front line of the US opioid crisis and the people exploiting it.
Kensington has been plagued by an opioid crisis.
It can make users appear zombie-like.
Nobody's sending in the troops to help people that are zombies.
And when you see people like nodding out, yeah, that's all the trank.
In America, I mean, you kill zombies. We hate zombies. They're terrible. It's a horrible thing to call a human being. People need to stop coming into our community and exploiting us and profiting off of what we're going through.
You cannot deny it's money in it. I'm never going to be the one to try to halfway it and try to say everything is about the love for the people, because it's not.
Yes, tranquilizer, Tia.
DEA is well aware of xylazine. They recently released a nationwide...
It's uncomfortable to see, to film.
There's a new street drug called xylazine, better known as trank. It was originally made for veterinary use, but it's cheap, lethal, and very addictive. People who take it struggle to stay upright and can develop severe, flesh-eating wounds. Trank has been detected in 48 states, but it all began in Kensington, North Philadelphia.
Now, remember when I told y'all this yesterday, I said, look, the way that they spread out is they take one particular area and then they see how it does, and then they start to spread it out over into other spaces. And so it's important for us to understand that what happens in one place, even though it may not necessarily be your city, definitely is going to and can affect what you got going on over in your city. So be very, very careful. But it started ground zero for this new drug that basically have y'all walking around like zombies is Philadelphia, Kensington Avenue. It is ground zero for this new drug called trank. All right?
In 2019, it first started showing up here, mixed with other drugs like fentanyl. Now, Kensington is the epicenter of the epidemic, but it's also become ground zero for a new and dark type of social media content creation, trank tourism. Recently, videos of trank and the people using it have gone viral. This trank tourism is getting millions of views, and the people behind it are taking big profits from their content. A lot seems to be going out, but what's actually coming back in to this community in Kensington?
My name is Sarah Laurel. I'm the founder of Savage Sisters nonprofit and the executive director. I started it in 2017 when I got into recovery.
Savage Sisters, an organisation providing resources to those affected by substance disorder, sits in the heart of Kensington.
Yeah, like a fucking circus, bro. As soon as we come in, we open up, we do coffee, and then people start signing up to have a shower or wound care or both. I understand that the visual effects of the substance, of trank dope, of xylazine, is our friends are lethargic. They appear to be in a coma-like state. And it can be very affronting to some individuals when they come down here.
Recently, Sarah has expanded beyond this day-to-day care. She started the Harm Ethical Reduction Committee, a crucial next step, she believes, in raising awareness of the impacts of trank tourism.
We're essentially just doing a little bit more research on the largest YouTubers and TikTokers that are coming down here and creating stigmatizing and exploitive videos, and we're sharing it publicly.
So basically what they're saying is this thing has basically been taking hold of what is happening in Philadelphia over the last at least 4 to 5 years. over the last 4 to 5 years is when it started creating visibility for what's happening on Kensington Avenue. So when you see these videos pop up on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, it's racking up a lot of views for a lot of people. And it was, I remember, and let me call it out real quickly. And you know me, I don't mind saying names or whatever, but actually, you know what? I'm not going to say names. I remember way before what was happening on Philadelphia Avenue, it was happening in Detroit, but it wasn't as a result of this drug called Trank. It was called Urbex. It was called urban exploration. And urban exploration is something that I actually got my first viral videos from. And that basically you explore abandoned buildings, or you become obsessed with the architecture or what's happening or whatever. Some big store closing, some headquarters is abandoned and it starts to become decrepit and all of this stuff, right? And so what happens is people come in and they get their cameras and they document, and they may not be from here, so they don't understand the culture. And it was coming into Detroit at a time where it was a whole lot of abandoned buildings, and it was basically documenting it, and it was getting a lot of views from it. It was a guy from Detroit that started a YouTube channel, and he was making a lot of money from it, but he wasn't highlighting any of the good that was happening in the city. He was only highlighting the bad. Now, the other side of that is, if you don't have anything to highlight, how can they then hold you accountable for it? It was our fault. It was the fault of us, the people that lived in the city, and the legislators and all of that other type of stuff, that created the environment that allowed for them to be able to come in and document it. And now that they're getting compensated as a result of it, whose fault is it? We couldn't blame anybody but ourselves. Yeah, I almost fell through the floor. The last place, I did fall through the floor, the last place that I explored. But I wasn't in Detroit. I was in Gary, Indiana. It was a church, and I fell through the floor. So you know what's up, A.R. Smitty. And I've explored every single place. I was the last person to document and explore the Pontiac Silverdome. That was a video that had got like 700,000 views for me way back before After Hours or the Millionaire Morning Show, when it was just the Anton Daniels channel. I explored churches and places that's now demolished. And as a matter of fact, I would say that all of the places that I explored back in Metro Detroit, and I was going to different states in order to do so, all of the places that I explored here in Michigan, because it wasn't just Detroit, it was in Michigan in general, all of those places have been redone, demolished, revamped, and it's completely different, right? But they're having the same problem. They're complaining about it over on Philadelphia and Kensington Avenue. And so instead of holding their legislators accountable, or advocating for, or joining with the police, or trying to solve for and get the drug dealers out of their community, they're getting mad at the people that's coming over and documenting it. So I understand their sentiment, because I come from it. I lived in a city where that was the norm. Different, but similar. But they're not trying to get to the root of the problem. They just saying, hey, you stop talking about what it is that we got going over here.
The majority of the individuals who are hearing this have never been to Kensington and will never come to Kensington. So their only perception, their only experience with what is going on in our community is what they get from the media and social media.
You use Trank? Yeah. You have? Mm-hmm.
Your faces won't be shown on this camera. What do you need? Okay, beat it. You want a bubble, babe? Yeah, it's bubble or a straight. Which one? You want the bubble? We're handing out safer smoking kits. So depending on what our friends, what substances they use. Straights are used to smoke crack. Bubbles are used to smoke meth and dope.
They're handing out safer smoking kits. They're handing out, and they're providing the fiends a better way for them to be able to consume the drugs. And the argument, I'm assuming, is that, well, they're going to consume the drugs anyway. We might as well make it safer for them. This is a large American city, y'all. This is a huge American. This is Philadelphia. They got an NBA team, the 76ers. They got an NFL team, the Eagles. They got an NHL team, the Flyers, I believe. This is a major American city where fiends are walking up to get safer supplies to be able to take in the drugs that's being sold to them illegally. So you can go and smoke some crack, then go watch Joel Embiid cook up on the basketball court right after that.
Not us. No. I'm updating your voter registration.
Okay.
You know, they have a right to vote too.
It's getting looked at quite weirdly because obviously we have a freaking huge camera with us. So people are looking at us like... Yeah. But I kind of knew it would be really bad here. But I didn't think it would be this sad.
Some people they're not missing. Everybody says that. Oh, my friend, my kid's missing. No, they're not. They're hiding. We are the Trap House of Harm Reduction, so.
You are the what?
Trap House of Harm Reduction. We just make it work. We don't actually have like government funding for what we do here, so.
How do you get all the supplies?
We do Amazon wish lists, and we just did a big fundraiser.
It's crazy.
Not anymore. I will, thank you. Maybe Mel can go to the game. I mean, there's a lot of outreach groups that do like a weekly outreach, but nobody with a building like us now, and what we offer. But everybody tries. That's basically what we're all doing.
And people who are filmed without consent can email their helpline.
People need to stop coming into our community and exploiting us and profiting off of what we're going.
Now, a lot of people don't think that you can film people without their consent, and they're wrong. As a content creator, this is right up my alley. I understand what it is. If you are in a public space, you can be filmed. If you are in a public space, if you are out on the streets, if you are hanging out in parks, if you're walking down out the street, just out and about, they do not have to blur your face, and they do not need your consent in order to be able to film you. Now, I'm not telling you should walk out there trying to film people, but what I am saying is be very, very careful and understand what your rights are. If you are out and about and you are walking around or whatever, so on and so forth, and you are in a public space, people do not need permission to film in a public space. That is a public space. Anybody can film. They don't need your permission. So nobody is actually breaking the law. They just don't like the fact that they're doing it and then being able to profit from it.
Going through. If you're not here to help, then get out. You have to have a call to action and raise real awareness. But interviewing individuals like one-on-one in that way and asking them such traumatizing questions at a street level basis with no follow-up care.
So what happened to your arm? Like I see a mark right there.
Infections from shooting up.
My friend, what is it that causes him to act like this? Fucking fentanyl.
No, it will never be okay.
Hey John, you're on camera by the way, we're just recording this call.
Oh, hi.
Okay, so we just went to interview this guy who has this like YouTube channel called Kensington Daily. Yeah, it was really quite bizarre. We just went to meet this man who only told us his name was Work in a random park in the middle of Kensington, and he live streamed our whole encounter. Like it's not that normal, is it?
No.
Live streaming has become popular amongst content creators down here who set up phones that capture the streets for hours. That's why we met with Mr. Work, who runs a live stream YouTube page now rebranded as Deep View Media. He told us his videos can make up to $500 and he often publishes several a day. Mr. Work didn't want to be on camera because he doesn't like being recognized in the areas where he films.
Nobody look for Kensington stuff. Who know about Kensington? Nobody don't know about Kensington. How you end up coming across Kensington, they'll test you out one day and just put one of those graphic views that everybody already watched, that everybody was drawn
Yo, he sound like he from Baltimore, to be honest with you.
to. And once you watch it, then they start sending it to you.
Do you think it's problematic that people are putting really grabby and catchy thumbnails?
Well, if it's real, if that's what's really in your video, I'm cool with that.
Can you tell me why you decided to start your channel and why you decided to start live streaming this area of Kensington and Philadelphia?
I originally started my channel with money. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Besides the fact of helping, you cannot deny it's money in it. I'm gonna always be honest about that. I'm never gonna be the one to try to halfway it and try to say everything is about the love for the people, because it's not.
I respect that.
It's not. I'm
telling you the real.
Though. But at the same time, if it's an easy dollar, why not? It's better than selling drugs. I've been to jail for selling drugs plenty of times. So I'd rather not sell drugs. When I go different places and I see how nice the places look, I realize that's why they are drawn and feel the way they feel when they see Kensington. It makes sense for them. It's so many that don't see Kensington that when they see Kensington, they like, that cannot be true. And it's almost like a TV show. What you're seeing when you look at that camera is an unscripted reality show.
What do you think of that?
What?
Them watching it like it's a TV show.
I never really thought about it, to be honest.
I don't get a lot of views, but my channel's growing and it's doing good. It'll keep doing good, I think. Like I said, I'm just trying to do it without exploiting people down here, and that's where it gets hard.
This is Jeff. He runs a YouTube account documenting Kensington.
You know what? We're gonna do something illegal right here. We're gonna drive like we're from Philly.
What's driving like from Philly?
It's just all the rules are suggestions.
I just saw someone shooting up.
Oh yeah, you'll see that all over the place.
Jeff got clean from heroin in April 2016 and left Philadelphia when he decided to get sober. He started his channel Jeff's High on Life in November and said that last month he made just over $1,000. Jeff still gets far less views than some of the other big channels, and most of the money he makes goes back into buying wound care supplies.
That's what I wanted to do, was just try and show a human side to the addiction down here.
Let me tell you something, bro. Ultimately, what it comes down to is that wherever it is that it's ability to make money, that's where the people is going to go. And if they see that it's popping off on there and people getting a lot of views, and that's what they're going to talk about. And you can't stop it. The only thing that you can do to stop it is to stop the problem in itself. And if you change the problem, then you will change the perception of what it is. And you can't change the perception overnight. It's going to come over a period of time that allows for you to then look at it differently. I work every single day in the city of Detroit, and I see how it's changed. But I also understand that there's a lot of people that see the city differently because of the narrative that's been painted to them over a period of time, justifiably. The city was messed up for a long time. That was our fault. Maybe not my fault personally, but that was our fault that the city turned into whatever it is that it turned into. Then we changed it. And so now it's going to take time for people to see it for themselves. And it's not going to happen overnight. The same way that the reputation wasn't developed overnight is the same way that the reputation is not going to change overnight. People are going to have to see the change over a period of time and be consistent with it, but you can't get mad at the people for documenting it and then profiting off of it as at the same time. You can't control that. All you can do is control yourself. Life is 90% of what you do as a result of what happens to you. 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it.